God has given you an inner will and an inner ability to master your destiny, master your life. Take responsibility of your life. You don't need help from anyone. You can do it. You have everything you need. It is an inborn ability. It is an innate ability. You have it. Take control and lead your life. That for me has defined stuttering is the situation I have tried to manage it, but words that I know
Let's go there.
Difficult for me. The first one is dab. Dabba. Dabba. Passivism. Passivist. Pageantry.
Let's go.
Нужно понять разницу между заикающимся и нормальным человеком.
You gotta understand the difference between a stutterer and a normal speaker.
С точки зрения
From the perspective of physiology, we are totally the same.
но
But from the perspective of what we are doing, we are totally different. Typically, stutterers use an incorrect method of processing information. Normal speakers process information logically, sequentially, linearly, and always 100% precisely. But stutterers process information illogically, disorderly, fractionally, cyclically, and most of the time approximately.
Okay?
Okay.
The other stutterer's problem is that they operate incorrectly their own speech apparatus.
This is called physiological stuttering.
Physiological stuttering.
Right?
Okay.
обычно у заикающихся
Usually, stutterers have a combination of both informational and physiological types of stuttering.
Our goal here is to figure out, to reveal all the mistakes you have been doing and fix these mistakes. Get
Yeah.
rid of them, eliminate them, he said.
Okay. We would ask this question. Who let Jack in? That was his name, Jack. I'm sorry. And Jack would not mind. He sees you. He comes squeaking and, doing everything, greeting you. And then I would be so mad, want to beat him. And he would go like a child, and you start feeling sorry for him. But in time, I've come to love Jack. Why? Jack was very protect my son. He loved my son so much that whenever he thought that my boy was in danger, he would put himself in danger for my boy.
Wow.
He would fight, he would bite, he will do everything in his power to protect that little boy. And finally, when Jack died of some kind of illness, and my boy cried a lot. My wife also cried. But that was it. Thank you.
That's it? How many hours have you been stutter free already?
I think an hour
an hour
or
or
an
so.
hour and a half. Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
That's it.
I made a phone call to my boss. She's a very high profile person, so I daringly call her. Most times she called me, but today I took my phone and I called her, and we spoke for close to 5 minutes, just talking about work issues, her trip, and some jokes. Yeah. And after that, I made several other calls today. But as I kept on calling, the more I called, the more it became a bit easier.
Hunt
Yes.
for difficult words. Skype is horrible. Everything
Okay.
is blurry. Yeah. Let's go.
Detail, 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 detain, detect,
Okay.
detective,
Okay.
Position.
So, were there any difficult words, any difficult letters?
no, none at all.
Good. Let's keep maybe 5 pages. Let's find if there are difficult letters. Go.
Discreet, discretion, discriminating, discrimination, discuss, discussion, disease, disease, disgrace, disgraceful, disgruntled,
Okay.
disguise.
Okay, let's go to a different letter maybe. Okay, letter S.
Let's go to X.
Let's do letter S
Yes.
because I remember it was difficult for you.
Suggestion, suggestive, suit, suitable, soak, sunny, sunrise, sunset, super, superb, superficial, superfluous.
Let's skip 5 pages. 5 pages with different letter
Okay.
combination. Mhm.
Now it's in T.
Go.
Table, tablet, taboo, tacit, tack, tack, taco, tacky, tab, tab, till, talent,
Okay.
talented.
Okay. Do we need to continue this hunt?
No,
So, difficult words don't exist. Do you realize it now?
indeed.
Very good.
International,
Yay!
strategy,
International, yay! Your difficult word. Okay.
international, strategy,
Very-
policy. They do not exist
They
any
do.
longer.
Yes, they don't exist. Even the long ones. The difficult words are the ones we have never learned. They do exist, of course. If you go across the word that you've never heard, never said in your life, of course it's going to be difficult. But other than that, we don't have difficult words. Okay, let's not waste time on that because it's too easy for you.
First, I was informed by my eldest brother that my mother taught her. And I also saw my eldest brother stuttering, but his was not as severe as mine was. But he told me that it was likely that both of us took on stuttering after our mom. Now, why am I saying it? Is because as a young child, I did not even know my mother. My father had 2 sets of children. He had the first wife before he met my mom. And he had 12 children with this first wife. She died. After she died, then he met my mother. The story is that when I was around 2 or 3, my dad and mom had a problem. And she moved out and left me with dad. And after a year or so, he then married his second wife and brought her in. And so I grew up with this second wife without my mother. And then when I finally saw her, I was around age 7. That was around March, April in 1986, 87. And a few months after I saw her, I heard she died. I did not see her body. I did not attend a funeral. I really don't know where she's buried, even now, as an adult. I lived with my father and my stepmother up to 1988. One morning, I went to his room, as usual, to say good morning. And when I looked, he was lying on the floor instead of his bed. And I saw these white, foamy liquid coming out of his mouth. So I bent over and I laid my ears to his chest to feel his heartbeat. It was not beating. So I took his hands and I felt his pulse. There was none. So I ran outside and I informed my stepmother that my father is not breathing. And she ran in immediately and started screaming. And then the neighbors came, they got an ambulance, and it was pronounced dead. And so at the time I was around 10 years old. And that's how I lost my dad. And I lived with my stepmother for an additional 2 years. We had to change school because she was a housewife and she did not have any stable income. And that changed our lives completely. She will go out to the bush, cut some stakes into wood, bundle them, and as a child, I would take them to the market and sell them. And I had to change my school to an afternoon school. So it's an after-school kind of program. So I got wrote on that. And I stayed on for 2 years. And then our silver conflict started in Liberia in 1990. By then I was 12 years old. My stepmother was a crown lady because she knew that anything could have happened to her because she belonged to a rival ethnic group. She told us to leave. As a young kid at 12 years, I had to leave because she said if she had to die, she did not want to carry us along with her. So I left. Without any guidance. As a young child, 12 years old, I was walking where I don't know. There were people moving with their bundles on their heads, moving from one point of the country to the next. I just followed people. And fortunately for me, I landed on a side of the rebels group that were a bit civil. Mm-hmm. And that helped me a lot. And I found a lady who identified me. I don't know how she managed, but she asked me, "Are you Mr. Appleton's son?" And I said, "Yes." And she said, "Your father and I have a son, and you look just like your father. So come." Wow. And so she took me in, and I met my brother. And she took care of me. But after a year or two, she died. But then, at this time, the silver crisis has subsided a bit. But the sets of children my father had with his first wife were all grown-ups. And so, when the war subsided in my country, I then met my eldest brother, a big man in his late 30s or early 40s. Mm-hmm. So he took me in, and he served as my dad all through. He took me through high school to college. So I worked as a helper in college. I cut grass, I washed floors, I cleaned bathrooms. But that was a great experience, seriously.
It's amazing what you've been through as a child. No wonder you had difficulties with speech development. I mean, whoever cared about you speaking well? People just needed to give you food and clothes and God. The world is crazy, what we do with ourselves, with our children, with these wars. I wish the quality of video was better because what you told me is just mind-blowing.
My first experience as a clerk, it was a mess. I got stuck, the Chief Justice was up, and I couldn't speak. He was waiting for me to read, and I was stuck. There was no way. I tried, I fought, I tried. Guess what? He himself had to read the brief. That was my first embarrassment. From that day, I stopped reading briefs at the hearing. And then I was asked to just type the cases. As the case came out, I was asked to stay back in office and type them. And it was not exciting. I was disappointed at myself.
Yep.
But unfortunately, my boss was right. She told me that it was embarrassing. So I would stay in there and typing and typing and typing. I would type all of those cases and file them. But then I decided to change job because that environment required high level of talking, repeated talking, and so on and so forth. So I got a much more easier assignment for me. Even though I had to speak, but not much in my personal life as a stutterer, I always had people stepping in, to give me extra support where they thought I needed it. It was good. It helped me, but I have never been happy.
So if you were not happy, then what's good about people helping you?
At the moment,
Yeah.
seizing control of the moment, providing relief at that particular moment. I needed those reliefs.
Because just like you, people thought that you were sick. And it's kind of like helping to a person who is diseased, is sick, ill. We take care of each other when we are weak, when we are sick. But it doesn't allow a person who stutters to develop his own speech skills. So when they were talking for you, you were kind of quiet. You were not speaking.
Yeah, that's one problem.
Yep.
The second problem is you feel a little
Second class.
condescending.
Yeah.
Yes. Self-actualization is very low.
Yeah.
And as an adult, I've lived and worked in post-conflict regions for all my life. So I've really not looked out for professional support until it became very bad. The further I moved in my career, the more difficult my speech became. So I started to look around the world for solutions. Africa is not blessed, I would say, or it's quite difficult finding someone in this area.
Yeah.
But I recall once reading something on the internet, checking for something that could help me. Understand first what is stuttering or stammering. That's the first thing. What is this? And I started seeing and reading that it is an abnormality. It is a dysfunction of my speech and my brain. And my brain is not functioning properly. There is slow reaction. Something is wrong. I was involved in trauma. Something traumatic must have happened to me. Then I started to relate all of that to my experience as a child.
Yeah.
And then it built a case. In fact, it built a theory for me that I've lived with for a long time. That since I've gone through all of these traumatic experiences, it is likely that my stuttering may have worsened over the years, irrespective of the fact that my mom also stuttered, but stuttering may have worsened due to these experiences. It was not until I came across your program. But before I did, there was this program as well that I came across on the internet. In fact, it is an entire book that I have right now. It was talking about the air float method, that you have to speak in certain way and breathe certain way to allow the free flow of your speech, something. And I tried that, but guess what? I stuttered even worse. At first, it felt better.
All right.
I tried it, but as the moments went by, it got worse. I had serious problems at work. In fact, I couldn't speak. At first, at least I spoke. People would hear me, but now no one was hearing me. And then I started to search more. And
You know what? I have a
But the
question.
first time,
When you said at first it felt good, at first you said it helped. What do you mean by this?
it was psychological. At least I found something to take me along. But as I attempted to practice it, it was not resonating with my breathing mechanism.
Did we teach you any breathing techniques?
Not at all. You taught me is that I need to keep my passage open.
That's right. Just
That's all.
keep it open. You don't do anything because breathing is a function of our body. It's written in our DNA. God did it for us. We don't need to do anything. Just keep it open. That's it. Don't obstruct it. Because that's what you were doing. You were obstructing the passage of the air. So you tried this breathing technique in the book. What else did you try?
No, those were the only techniques that I've tried so far. In my search for answers, I kept asking questions. I kept asking questions everywhere.
Yeah.
I will find books to give me answers. I will ask colleagues in office, in my community, to give me answers. Then one day, I searched for speech cure.
Cure?
Speech cure. I Google it. Speech cure. And guess what? Of the many options, Etalon popped up. And then I started reading. I said, no, but this is not possible. I haven't heard of any theory like this before. All of the theories I've read are all theories that talk about managing your speech.
Yep.
This is not possible. This is a 419. I don't know if you understand what 419 is.
No.
419 is a code
Okay.
that we give to criminals.
Okay, so you thought it was a
When,
scam. Wait.
yes, I
Yeah.
thought this is a scam. And then I started looking and reading more. And I came across your website. And I read. And I saw a few videos. The first video I saw was this guy. He's in his 40s.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's from Australia.
Okay.
I'm not quite sure. And he was explaining his story. And I saw before and after. That was amazing. His before was worse than me. His after was better than I am right now. The guy was fluent, and I was so much impressed. So I started to watch more videos, and I kept on watching. Finally, after a week or two, I decided to reach out. Then I saw your Skype, and I sent you a Skype message. I am a Liberian from Liberia, but currently in Kampala, Uganda. I'm a stutterer. I've seen your program. I'm interested. But the amount is so huge.
Yeah.
That was what I said. But then we started exchanging, and you critiqued almost every sentence I wrote.
Did I really?
And sometimes you just let conversation flow, but she's finding technical things as I'm writing. What is wrong? Is this person even real? So, but then the exchanges were frequent, and I kept asking questions, and you took your time and answered them. And then I watched more videos, and then I started asking you for more videos. You started to share with me some videos, and I started to watch them, and then I grew confidence when I spoke with my wife. I explained to her, look, I found this program. I'm not sure of it because it's internet. Anybody can do anything on the internet. Anybody can put anything there. In fact, people can Photoshop. They can make videos, make it appear as though something to extort people.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but this is my situation. You know it. So she agreed that I should probe more. I should keep asking more questions, keep in conversation with you. So I kept on. Finally, we decided that I should do it.
At what point you decided to buy my book? Because you are one of the very few people that I actually physically shipped my book to your country. Yeah, yeah.
It was after I was completely convinced that in fact this was a solution for me. After I saw those videos, and repeatedly I saw new videos, I was really impressed. And each time I saw those videos, a few persons I saw with this book.
Yeah.
And then you also then introduced it to me to check Amazon, which I checked and I saw it. And then I have my foster mother in the United States. I asked her to check for this book.
Mm-hmm.
So she went online, Amazon, and she checked and she saw it. And she said, yes, the fact that a book exists, it is a proof that a person exists.
Mm-hmm.
It is some hard proof that this person is real.
Okay.
So then I decided to buy. I know that my Bible tells me that God has not given me a spirit of fear, but a spirit of boldness and of power and of love and of a sound mind. That is a fundamental principle that I lived with. And every principle that I saw in this book coincided, were mutually reinforcing a particular scripture.
Yeah.
That God has given you an inner will and an inner ability to master your destiny, master your life. Take responsibility of your life. You don't need help from anyone. You can do it. You have everything you need. It is an inborn ability.
Yep.
It is an innate ability. You have it. Take control and lead your life. So, that is one key principle that I've seen resonating through every page of this book. That God has not given you the spirit of fear, but a spirit of boldness and of power and of love and of a sound mind. That is what I can say about this book.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
The course is practical. It is part of nature. It's not teaching something from outer space. It is a practical approach about the mind, how the mind works, and how God has created your apparatus to work.
Yep.
And once you use them correctly for the purpose for which they were created, you perform the functions for which they are made. So it is the wrong usage of your apparatus that will give you the wrong outcome. So if you reprogram according to the Echelon approach, every normal human being, and I believe this, it is fundamental. Even God himself, before he created the world, he thought. Look, I've always told my son that before anything, in fact, everything that is made was made twice. And he asked me, Daddy, what do you mean? I said, look, everything you see physically today was first created in the mind. So what we see is only a projection of our minds. So the creation started first in the mind, and then it became a reality.
Yep.
When God said, let let there be light. He envisioned light in his mind, and light came forth when he said, let there be. So it is natural. And we are created in the image and likeness of God. So we are creators. So we have that image, we have that ability. It is inborn, it is inbuilt. That is what I can say about the Ethanol program.
Thank you. When did you start speaking without stuttering?
I think I started speaking without stuttering around 2.5 to 3 hours in the program. At first, it was a bit difficult because I'm a grown man. It's like teaching an old dog new tricks.
Yeah.
It's difficult. But going along, the logic became very clear that, in fact, it is natural. What is being taught is part of the natural flow of life. That's how things are meant to be. So the Ethanol program has only given me a reality of what nature is all about.
Yeah.
You are to speak freely. God created you to be free. My advice of people who stuttering is not real. It is not an ailment. It is not a dysfunction. But my intelligence tells me that there is no other program in the world that has been able to solve speech problems or stuttering the way Ethanol program presents it. It is natural. The approaches being taught are very natural. Stop wasting your time going here and there, finding solutions that wouldn't work. The Ethanol program has worked for others before me. It has worked for me. It can work for you. You must be ready, however, to work hard because it takes hard work. Your speech is your own business. If you don't speak, it's up to you. So your speech is your decision. So turn on your speech by your decision, not anyone's decision. So the Ethanol program empowers you to make that decision and to make it the right way, to do the right things that will enable you to speak properly. But I would recommend it above all else. So find Ethanol program. Get your speech back.